Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Music Report. My name is Tyler Walsh, and today I'm joined by
Arden Franklyn. What's up?
Hell yeah. So I've had the honor of knowing you for over, I think, a year and a half now.
Mm-hmm.
You are, you run the Ballplayers Instagram handle over at 137. You also do music and sports coverage at 1:37 p.m. But also you've had a lot of experience in the music industry. You're the founder, CEO of Foresight Entertainment, kind of like, I feel like a lot of people in the industry, if they're from New York, they know Foresight because you've been early about a lot of people, Ice Spice, Nico, like all these people. But
man.
Tell us a little bit about yourself for the audience. And
Yeah, thank you, man. Excited to be on the Music Report, man. We're going to have a fun convo. Again, Arden here from the crib, Westchester County, New York, 914. I'm definitely a multi-hyphenate, content creator, executive producer, founder, CEO, brand manager, so I do a lot of different things in sports and music, and like I've worked in media for like over 10 years now. So I started when I was in high school, working in media at 16, thank God for Tumblr and YouTube just helping me like develop a platform and build up my own name when I didn't want to go the traditional route, which was like college and really the whole 9 yards. And then from there, it was just a matter of like, all right, I'm building out my own name, I'm networking, I'm outside, I'm doing those things. And then I was able to parlay it into bigger opportunities. So like between 2016 and like 2022, I had the chance to either as a writer or as an on-air talent do stuff for like Billboard, FanDuel, Slam, SB Nation, and USA Today, while also still doing my thing independently. So like before Foresight, which was like my first attempt into music, I had my own sports blog called Arden Sports Talk, which was short for AST. And I ran that for like 10 years and had the chance to like cover a lot of different events across New York City and the country, generated over 15 million views. And Foresight, of course, being my baby hip hop media outlet that covers really everything hip hop and R&B. We got our podcast. We've done different shows. We do live event coverage. Shout out to my brothers, Wills and AK, for helping me run it. And yeah, now I'm here at 137, cooking up, managing the Ballplayers brand, doing a bit of everything there, helping us out across some other areas with content, bridging the gap between sports and culture, and specifically music. And that's how I am. That's how I got to where I am today.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. I love to hear that. And it's so cool. Like I've only known you for a year and a half, but I can't imagine like your growth over those 10 years of like you being in the media space and like how things have evolved from like you're saying like Tumblr and like the blog era and now it's like TikTok, Instagram, and probably evolving a lot throughout that process, right?
Easily. Yeah, it's definitely something, you know what I'm saying? Because I think it just goes to accessibility. Yeah. Like you think about, again, that blog era, me growing up during the blog era, like let's say between the ages of 14 and 17, we actually had to go on computers and like type in websites. So I used to like
Two Dope Boys.
Yeah, like, Two Dope Boys, and learn from Mr. Real or go to missinfo.tv. And that's where like I would actually get my music news or actually have to listen to the radio to like get music news and hear interviews. And it was definitely a special time because it was like once the blog era, quote unquote ended, then you started seeing the first shifts into the digital space, right? You like the Breakfast Club interviews on YouTube, and you start seeing other people try to do stuff on YouTube, and then you get into battle rap, URL, and all of these different things. And, when you really look at it today in terms of the content space and like music, especially hip hop, a lot of people will be surprised that there's a lot of things in hip hop media today that's not even 10 years old yet. Like, it's like a third grader, fourth grader. It's like 7, 8 years old, right? Like some of these things was just an infant, and now it's starting to have its personality, and now it's starting to have its way. But so many different things are developing. But it goes back to accessibility. It's understanding what the consumer wants. It's understanding what these artists and labels want and how to tap in with different audiences and how to get their messaging out. So now the accessibility is greater than ever.
Yeah. That's so true. And for context, for any new viewers out here, this podcast is about music business, just anything revolving music for, aspiring songwriters, producers, managers, A&Rs, anything like that. Especially entrepreneurs. I feel like there's a big, entrepreneurial and entrepreneurs and music crossover so frequently.
Easily.
What would you tell yourself, like, starting this journey, 10 years ago? Like, what would you wish that you would have known, like, to help you throughout this whole process? Because I feel like things have changed so much, as you were just saying.
Honestly, I would say I don't know if I have something that I would like tell myself back when I started, because it's like, again, when I like started for real, to be exact, it was like actually like 13 years ago. Like, I'm 29, so I literally at 16 was like, I'm on my fresh out of high school going into the pros, like I'm Brian, like I'm on that type of time. So June is actually, this coming June is going to represent my 14th season in the industry, So for me, it was just like, there really isn't anything I would tell myself, because I came into it strictly off the love. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just knew, like, I love this. I know this is what I want to do. And I just got to get started, So there's really nothing I would tell myself back then, because even throughout the years, there hasn't really been a time where I was like, damn, I wish I knew that, or man, I wish I got that look, or certain opportunities. Like, I eventually learned that, like, whatever was for me was going to be for me.
Yeah.
And it just came down to timing.
Yeah. It also brought you to, like, where you are today. Like, you learned those lessons along the way, and, like, it's part of the journey.
Yep. Learn those lessons, and also realizing that, like, certain looks, whether it was like getting certain interviews or getting certain access to events or meeting certain people, realizing, like, you know what, at that time it wasn't meant for me to get that. Like, was I ready? Yeah, I was ready, but I wasn't ready to truly take it on and maximize what it was. You know what I mean? Or, like, really maximize what it would have meant to be in that room and meet with certain people and capitalize off it, right? So it's like, sure, at 25, it would have been great to achieve certain things that I am at 29, but would I capitalize on it at 25 the same way I am at 29? I could be honest with myself and be like, nah, I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
It just would have been a dope moment, versus now, at the age that I'm at, and even going back to when I was like 28, 27, I've become a really good momentum builder, to where not only do I know what it means to make the play, but I know what it means to make the play after the play.
That's important, man.
Yeah,
That's really important.
It's important. It's the same thing with networking. Like, networking has played a key part in that. Like, I tell people all the time, especially in the music industry, meeting people is not hard. Like, meeting people is not hard. And sometimes people think that, like, oh, man, like, I can't meet people. Like, meeting people is hella easy. What's hard is maintaining the connection. Like, you go to enough of these events, you meet with enough people, give out numbers, social medias, and emails as easily as they do breathe. But what's hard is actually maintaining that connection and making it work.
Yeah. Especially if you're on the other side of the stick, where, like, you definitely want to keep that connection. I feel like you got to keep adding value and, like, giving and giving with no expectation of, like, ever, it's like not even thinking of it transactionally, but, just giving it to provide value for either, the person, an artist, anything like that.
100%. But even before you get to that, it's like, you got to know what it means to take that initial step after the connection's been made.
True.
Because, again, it's easy for people to give away emails and numbers and social medias and to hit you with the fake talk. Oh, let's build. Oh, we're going to tap in and da-da-da. It's like, It's so easy. It's literally like breathing air. But what can you do if you meet a really dope A&R from Interscope, and you are too a content creator who wants to do interviews and do stuff? Or if you're a DJ, what can you do after you linked up at a Audio Mac party, you exchange numbers, and you caught a vibe? All right, what are you doing the morning after? What are you doing the week after? Are you actually following up? Are you actually providing those examples? Are you actually trying to build and do all of that stuff? That's the part that people overlook and don't understand. That actually helps build your name and maintain a connection.
That's important. That's really important. I appreciate you for, speaking that, because I think, like...
Yeah, it's really important.
Yeah, that's what people need to hear. Well, I would love to talk about, some music trends and, like, things going on in the market that, like, I feel like are shaping music in real time. But I'd love to know, like, your thoughts on, like, with the rise of the internet, social media, I feel like globalization of music is so big right now, where, artists anywhere in the world can blow up, and how that's gonna shape like consumption of music. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say it's definitely a great time right now to be an artist, because going back to a word that we said earlier is the accessibility.
Mm-hmm.
The accessibility has changed, and I also think it leads to flexibility. You know, you can be an artist via social media and via just the globalization of music through these DSPs and YouTube and whatever else, and realize, like, bet you can now go out as far as you want, but also remember what it means to focus on your central audience. And your central audience could be from a certain town, a certain region, a certain state, or whatever. So it's just about knowing that the accessibility is there, but it's also flexibility.
Yeah.
And to also understand that all of these platforms are meant to be customized to your liking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I think so many people have a dated mindset of thinking like, well, if I'm on TikTok, it means I need to do dance challenges, or I need to make certain records. And it's like, you know how silly you sound? Like, all of these platforms, and they're making it that way for you on purpose. It's like, bro, you're supposed to customize this to your liking.
Yeah,
because
fit the brand,
because everybody is on here. Like, at the end of the day, these platforms are what they are, a platform.
Mm-hmm.
You supposed to make of it what you want to make. That way, again, the same way you putting these stuff out there that you know can reach the world, it's the same way that same stuff could also really resonate with your core audience.
Yeah.
So I think the globalization of things is awesome, because it's what you always wanted, right? If you're an artist, if you're creative in the music space or whatever, all you was asking for was an opportunity to really get yourself out there without having to play the game, without having to do some dirty tricks or whatever.
Yeah.
Now you got something that's completely green, clean, and if you really want to push yourself, it's really on you.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah. Now you got to play the attention game of capturing those, standing out. But
and the attention game has always existed, and that's what's funny to me about the music industry, right? It's because of, like, yes, right, there is a ton of buzzwords and things like that like make things more than what it is, but it's like the attention game, you always have to play the attention game.
Yeah.
If you want to go back 15, 20 years ago, MTV, BET, like radio, right? Like,
artists didn't want to do it back then. There was like, I remember interviews from like, I think it was like, I forgot which band, but it was from the 60s, and they're like, I don't want to do this TV appearance. And they're like, but
it's necessary, because that was back then the way to actually have people's attention. Like, you had to go on these shows, you had to go on the radio, like you had to tour, you had to do CD store signings. Like, the attention game has always existed. It's just now
the medium is different.
It's just the medium is different. Now it's more social media based. Now it's more based on how long you can keep people's attention for seconds versus minutes. Like, it's just that type, but it's always existed.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That's so true. I'm really curious of what, like, you know, I know I keep saying this, going back to, like, there's so many changes in music, but, like, what gets you excited for the future of music? Is it, like, anything specific, like, in particular? Is it platforms? Is it, like, a new genre? Anything like that?
I would say it's related to platforms in terms of, I'm really liking the growth of artists really tapping into their creative selves as content creators. I think it's something that's, like, really important. It was something I made a video about on Foresight in January, where I was like, if you're an artist, you got to know what it means to be the best content creator you can be, and understand that it could come in various ways. You know, it's not just about music videos. It's behind the scenes content. It's photo shoots. It's you going on IG or TikTok live. It's you tweeting. It's so much content that you could put out there to help connect with your audience even more, to where you can also connect with these people and not be looking for something. It's not, well, I'm just going to comment with people because, I got a single, listen to it, or I got merch, cop it. It's like, no. The more you are on these platforms really showing who you are, whether you have something to sell or not, the better it is for your relationships. And, you know, I think about artists like La Russell, who do a great job on social media with their strategy in terms of, yes, the visuals is fire and the music is fire, but, like, La Russell is on social media because he loves being on social media and talking with his fans.
Yeah, and I love how he, like, Well, Russell's so dope because he spits like game too. He's like, if you're an independent artist, this is how you do it. He gives a roadmap when for so long there was never a roadmap.
Yeah.
You know?
Russ, like, to me, I think for like the last few years, Russ has been a forefather for artists who's been, forget just honest, but like transparent on social media as to like, this is how the game really goes. This is how I live my life. I think about artists who on a smaller scale who I believe do it really well. Like, shout out to my guys at Stainless Global. You know, they from the 914, Steeleon, Cool Kid Dre, Greg Self. Like, I tell them all the time, like, for y'all to do what y'all do with y'all content, from the music videos, the visualizers, the behind-the-scenes stuff, the original programming, it's so impressive for artists who are independent, who are emerging, but they also don't drop a lot of music. They drop 5 music, but they can go a year to 2 years and not drop no music. And yet they can still go overseas to Europe and sell out. That's wild. And they can still sell merch here with no problem. Mm-hmm. And they could pack out at SOBs and they could pack out these other places because it's like, why? Because they've done so much with the content in real life and online that they have such a strong fan base. They have such a strong community of people. And that's where it's like, again, as an artist, don't let these platforms fool you. Like, stop tripping over what TikTok used to be. Yeah. TikTok ain't the same TikTok as it was in 2019, bro. That's like, facts. It's a game changer. Like, if you're a lyricist, you bugging if you're not going on TikTok, finding all of these fire-ass producers who's cooking up these insane beats and not stitching yourself bodying that beat. Yeah. Or doing those different things. Or if you're a dope artist who has a beautiful aesthetic and you make great videos, why aren't you learning how to like make those type of videos and just formatting it for TikTok? Like, for example, shout out to HD Been Dope. I was at his listening session last night, and you know, new music is out, fire. He's building nicely. He has a really good situation at Rock Nation right now. And I was on his gram last night, and I saw that he did like a free verse over a Thames record. Yeah. And it was basically like a visualizer. It was just him dancing under what looked like stars. That's sick. But it was just so fly because it's like the verse is already fire. Yeah. And now you have a fire visual. And it's just him dancing for over a minute with the captions up top. That's fine. And it's like, y'all can do that too. Yeah. Like, if you want. Like, y'all can do that too. And it's like, again, like, customization. You got to be able to customize and really make it the best way you make it. Yeah. And so many artists are like, oh, I'm not good at TikTok. I'm not good at like making videos. And I think it just comes down to like, well, you've never put in the time to make one. Like, obviously, like the first few you put out are going to suck, but it's like, it comes with the reps. It was like the same thing when you went into the studio for the first time. Yeah. You know? And it's also practice. It's like before TikTok, a lot of y'all was on Triller. Yeah. Previewing your music. Like, a lot of y'all was learning how to use IG stories to like post your music or post you in the studio. So it's like, take that same content and put it elsewhere. Yeah. Or find a way to take that same content and use it to inspire the next things that you got to do. At the end of the day, it's like, you got to have people's attention. One of the best quotes that I ever came up with in my life that I was telling myself and now I tell people all the time, I'm like, it's not a matter of people not checking for you. You just don't give people anything to check for. People want to check good on you. Yeah. As people, we are nosy. We are nosy people. Like, we love checking in on people. And even if you think about it on a personal level, right? Like, folks that you know from home or folks that you met in the industry, if you have somebody that you know that's consistently posting, don't you watch their IG stories? Don't you check their tweets? Don't you like their LinkedIn updates? Like, don't you like those things? Yeah. Because they give you something to check for. That's so true. It's no different than if you're in the position of an artist or even anybody that's a creative in the music industry, where it's like, you got to give people things to check for. The more you give people things to check for, the more they're going to check it out. And that's how you build real momentum. And that's how it gets to the point where you could run into somebody in the street who you haven't seen in months or years. And they be like, yo, Tyler, like, I see what you doing, bro. I seen you do X, Y, Z, whoop-de-whoop. And you like, dog, I haven't spoken to you like in 2 years. Yeah. But why you think they know? Yeah. Because they've been tapped in, bro. They've been following along because you gave them something to check for. That's so true, man. I never thought about it like that, but that definitely opens new perspectives. It happens all the time, bro. Like, it's happened to me plenty of times. Like, I kid you not, like for folks I went to like school with. I'm talking like elementary or middle school who I haven't seen in years.
Yeah.
Yo, bro, I seen you do this X interview, Y interview, use at this event, like, cause I'm just sharing my stuff. I'm just putting it out there for the people. Like, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's not the flex, it's not the brag, it's just what I'm doing. I'm giving y'all something to check for. I want y'all to check it out, so I'm gonna give you the check.
Yeah,
for
it's like you know, out of sight, out of mind. You gotta be like top of mind.
Literally, you have to, especially nowadays. Like, you gotta be on type of mind. Like, that's even something I've had to learn for me personally in terms of like, forget Arden Franklyn when I do my brand work for like Foresight or for like 137. I'm learning that Arden Franklyn from Arden Franklyn needs to put stuff out. So I've been quicker to be like, yo, let me put this work out on my personal. Boom.
Yeah.
Let me put these pics up. Boom.
Yeah.
Like,
and
I've had to.
Yeah.
Because it makes a difference, because it really resonates with people.
Yeah. You can tap into like that audience on like Foresight. Ballplayers just like collab posts now because they do that feature.
Absolutely.
So
the collab posts, the IG stories, heck, even me using my Twitter lately. Like, I've been using I always use Twitter. I use Twitter every day, but like, I just be retweeting and bookmarking stuff.
Yeah. I think Twitter's how we first connected.
Yeah. It literally was. And for me with Twitter now lately, it's been like, yo, let me just share like the things I've been doing lately. Like, just the other day, Fabulous posted me on his IG page.
That's fire.
Jadakiss posted the cover that I did for a show that he does with DraftKings. He posted that on his feed.
Oh yeah.
The last week when we did the interview with Jermaine Dupri and Currency, like,
they were posting that.
Yeah, they were posting mass stuff. They retweeted it.
Love.
So it's like, you gotta like post these things because you gotta let people know. And even for the people that do know, you gotta remind them that like yo, you outside, you working, you doing those things.
That's
like
facts.
People want to check it out.
Hell yeah. That's so true. I never thought about it like that, but
it happens a lot, man. You
Hell
got
yeah.
to. You got to be your biggest spokesperson. If you're not your biggest spokesperson, who will?
Yeah. Sick. What do you think about AI in music? Not like even like specifically music production, but I feel like AI is such a hot topic right now. ChatGPT,
It is.
like everything. Like,
It is. I mean, for me, I'm like, I have mixed feelings about it. Because on one hand, I look at it as it's just another step in the evolution for all things like technology.
Yeah.
But on the other, I don't like it because I feel like it's trying to remove the human element in terms of the spirit, the naturalness of how we create what we create. So that's why for me, it's like I have those mixed feelings because it's like, again, I understand like, yes, this is a natural step in technology. So it doesn't surprise me. But when I see the crazy investment in it to be like, you could literally type anything into this and you can make these type of plans or you can make these type of ideas. And it's like, all right, y'all doing that, but you still got to use us, the humans.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, even if this thing can, I give it credit, even though it can impressively make these things, it doesn't have the spirit.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the context.
Yeah.
And that, to me, I think is going to be something that can make it a little worrisome.
Yeah.
Because when you do, right, like to even take it to another serious level, when you think about in the music industry, right, especially hip hop, R&B, in these mostly black spaces where the artists and the creatives and whoever, we've built this culture, we've gave it the sauce and the swag. When you think about a lot of these brands and platforms and labels where it's like white management who mainly are tapped in with the AI, it's like, so you just gonna go to us and take what you know is work from us to try to put it in here to make something else. And that's not for everybody, of course.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, that's gonna be the case though.
Yeah. It's not gonna work like that.
You know, I hope not.
Like you said, the spirit, like it doesn't have like.
But you know they're capable of it. Some people are capable of that, right?
It was like the FN Mecca.
Yeah, right. Prime example. It was like,
that
come on,
that
yo.
was racist. Like,
it's bad time, and it's like, I feel like it should just be something used to help. I feel like at the end of the day, the AI stuff, the ChatGPT stuff, it should be used as another way to amplify the creative process. Yeah. But it shouldn't be used in a way to replace the humans. Because at the end of the day, we're too valuable. Yeah. And these things don't operate without us. At the end of the day, the information that it has is based off of human existence. Yeah. So it's like, just use it as a way to, again, further amplify the creative process to make it more efficient. but don't try to use it to replace the human existence, to replace our spirit. Like it can't happen. It won't happen.
Hell yeah, that's so true. I want to shift over to a more, this is probably a difficult question for you because I know you're a big Drake fan.
Yeah, man.
I want to know ranked top 3 Drake albums.
Top 3 Drake albums?
Yeah.
For me, Take Care.
Take Care, number 1.
Yeah, I'll go Take Care. Nothing Was the Same.
Okay.
Incredible. And third is only tough because I'm leaning towards one of his relatively newer releases. Her Loss is still in my rotation heavy.
Yeah.
He's been rapping at a very high level on that. If you're talking albums, I might go Her Loss at 3.
Hell yeah.
If we're talking projects, then I would have had probably. I wouldn't have had So Far Gone. So Far Gone for me would have just been like a top 3 favorite.
Yeah.
But best, I would go Her Loss because the way he was just rapping on that is incredible. So yeah, I would go Take Care. Nothing Was the Same. Her Loss.
Hell yeah. I gotta go. Nothing Was the Same. Number 1. Take Care. Number 2. I love Her Loss. Has such good replay value.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. People don't understand about Drake's music, which is Drake's music ages really well.
Yeah.
And
I at first when Scorpion came out, I wasn't rocking with it, and then now I'm rocking with it.
It ages
CLB,
very well.
Yeah.
Oh man, I definitely dropped a hot take when it came out. I was like, oh, this is like a top 5, top 3 Drake album. I don't feel that way now, like top 3, but to me, it's a really good Drake album. I always said about Drake. I always said Drake gets unfairly punished by people whose expectation of his music is never clear. It's like people go into Drake listening experiences not really having a clear idea of what they want from him.
Yeah.
And then of course he's the biggest victim of music Twitter's immediate reactions at 12:02 mid. This is whack. This is ass.
Yeah.
But it's but you dancing to it at brunch a week later, and you're at the tour, and you got it as your captions. And his projects have aged really well. Views has aged extremely well. Scorpion is aging extremely well. CLB is aging extremely well. It's his music ages really well. There's no doubt about it. You know what I mean? And it's if I was an artist, I'd much rather have that effect. I'd rather have music that ages over time beautifully than have something that is the super duper hot stuff. Yeah. And then 6 months later to even 3 years later, it's I can't play this. It don't hit the same. It doesn't relate the same. And I know for me with Drake, his music over the last couple of years has been hitting me more now because
you're maturing.
Exactly.
That's what I realized. It's some of these songs when I was younger, especially older Drake songs, I liked it, but it didn't have substance, and now it does. It's there's context,
because it's you can now relate to it.
Yeah.
So again, you think about Take Care. Nothing Was the Same for me. It was I was 18 and 20 when those 2 projects came out. Of course, I really liked those projects, but now it's oh snap! I've gone through that. I know those feelings, bro.
13-year-old me didn't know Marvin's Room, but now
you
23-year-old me it hits.
You get it, bro. You absolutely get it, bro. So when the new stuff comes out, it's oh yeah, I could relate to it now because we're at a similar vantage point. Besides the obvious stuff, of course, way ahead financially and all that other stuff. But it's Drake is what, 35, 36? I'm 29. So it's hey, some of them feelings that you be conveying that doesn't have to do with the money and certain access that you have that I clearly don't and probably never will reach. It's oh yeah, I could tap in with that because the same way you're a grown man, I'm a grown man, so I get it now.
Yeah. Hell yeah. It's a great answer. And yeah, so true. Want to shift the conversation, talk about emerging artists. I'd love to know, what emerging artists have your attention and maybe why, or, what you think of them, anything like that. I know, you rep a lot of emerging artists from Westchester, and you show love. I've never, I don't know anybody else that shows love to Westchester like you.
Yeah, that's music, the crib, man. That's the crib. I mean, before I even tap in with Westchester, I've been, catching up on new music because really over the last couple years, I've been just listening to the records that like really defined my life. So I was like going back and like bumping Graduation and a lot of old Drake and a lot of like Biggie's Life After Death and Pac and R&B. But like recently, I've been rocking with Superstar Pride.
Dude,
he's
Superstar
tough.
Pride is so fire. We're trying to get him in the office.
Yeah, I will gladly be a part of that interview.
Yeah, 100%.
Like he's tough.
He's so smart with his USP to his haircut. Like, it just created a meme. Like he knows like how to capture attention. Yeah.
Central C, like I really like Central C. Central C is tough.
His sampling, like I know it's his producers, but I'm sure he has a say in it as well. But like sample choice is insane.
And he could like rap for real, like really rap for real. Ruben Vincent, dope. Rock Nation, he's really dope. You know, again, like related to Forsyth, like I'm a legit Ice Spice fan. So for me, it's like I actually like her music. Like she's gotten so much better. And I think besides that,
you were one of the first people rocking with Ice Spice.
Yeah, literally, like March of 2022.
I can tell you exactly. She had probably like what I think 2,000 monthly listeners,
23,000 views on the No Clarity music video.
Yeah, and now she's got 33 million monthly.
Yeah, like I remember vividly.
You were in the 0.00001% of like her.
Yeah, like I remember vividly coming across a No Clarity video again. It was literally like 23,000 and some change on YouTube. Yeah, and I was like, I like this. Yeah. Like she's tough. And then there's a couple other videos I saw, and like I made that video, you know, in a living room of my ex's crib, and like it was like, yo, Ice Spice is dope. She had responded, shared it, show love. And throughout the course of 2022, that video just went up across YouTube and Instagram. And it was like, again, like a big look for Forsyth, because it's like, yo, like we called Ice Spice. We were one of the first platforms last year to interview Lola Brooks. We did that at Rolling Loud. A couple years ago, we interviewed Capella Gray before Gallus turned into like a Billboard Hot 100 charting record. Obviously talks with Nico Brim, who's been bubbling. So it's like, yo, like we do this. Like we've called some shots and like watched it go in. Like like if folks wanted to, you could go back to like 2016, 2017, where like I called Jack Harlow. Because I had been tapped in with Jack Harlow a minute ago. If you're a Jack Harlow fan, I've been tapped in with Jack Harlow going back to Gazebo and Dark Knight. Like, if you're an OG Jack Harlow fan, you know those records. I was like, yo, Jack Harlow got next. My homie Wills, 2016, called the baby. He's like, the baby, like, this dude, baby Jesus, whatever, dope. Like, we have the proof. Like, we've been saying that. 2018, been telling people about Megan Thee Stallion. Was calling it like, yo, y'all gotta check out Tina Snow, Big Old Freak. H-Town got one. So like we been did this, bro. Like we do it all the time.
Oh yeah. So that if that's not proof enough, man, you gotta tap in Arden and Forsyth for sure.
Yeah. And even from the crib, you know, like again, Nico Brim has just been working. Shout out to Iman Nunez. He's
You just did a show with him.
Yeah, in January at Baby's All Right. Shout out to everybody that pulled up. 200 people in the building. Love is love on a cold Sunday night. Yeah. He's just finished touring. He was just touring across the country. He did his thing at South by. Of course, the homies at Stainless Global, Black Vanity, Shorts, Oakland Winthrop. I'll show you their stuff after. They're really dope. Hell yeah. Visuals is really fire. Small Circle, been bodying stuff, bro. Of course, Cascade D, another dope veteran independent MC who like understands fan base, understands content, and can literally perform anywhere in the United States and like sell out a crowd with no problem. Fully independent, owns everything, and like there's just a lot of people. Cause like if you don't mind, like I want to go into what makes Westchester's music scene very unique.
Please do, yeah.
And what makes us very unique, right, is you think about Westchester County. First of all, a little history lesson. We're one of the biggest counties in the state of New York. One of the biggest. One of the richest. We have this super duper close proximity to New York City. Long Island's not far away. Connecticut and Jersey's not far away. And we've had a lot of famous people come from our home. Like we've had Denzel Washington, like Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. We had a number of athletes, actors, actresses, whatever. And then from a music standpoint, we've had DMX, The Lox, Mary J. Blige, Big Pun, Diddy claims Harlem, but he lived in Mount Vernon for a little bit. So like we have history, but what Westchester's been going through, even with all of those things, is the fact that we're still very overlooked, and the fact that we're going on like 2 decades since we've had somebody like really like make it.
Yeah.
So I think for us, we've been in a very promising spot where like the last 6-7 years has been like the emergence of a scene. Like you have the artists who are actually artists and taking it seriously, and they're talented, and most importantly, they're building. You have media publications like Foresight, like my homies at Encore, SRL Daily, and others who actually cover the scene. You have people who do a lot of dope events there, like shout out to Raps and Receipts and the crew there, and others who just a part of it, to where it's built up an actual scene. And we're at the point now where it's like, oh, somebody's going to break through. Like, we're finally going to have a breakthrough, because for a minute there wasn't a scene. So even with the history, even with the proximity to places, we were still so overlooked and also not having a scene. Now we're having a scene. Now people understand, like, oh yeah, from Westchester, there's talent. And no, we're not upstate. Buffalo is upstate. Albany is upstate. We're literally downstate. So it's just a good time right now.
Oh yeah, that's so true, man. Yeah, I know the like being from Buffalo, I know it's a lot different than Westchester, but I know what it's like to like see like artists come out, and it's like shit, like that's like where I'm from. Like it's just a cool feeling when it's not like a big city like New York, LA, Atlanta, you know.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful, man, and we working, bro. Folks are working, folks are building. It's just all about breaking through, and I feel really confident that this is the year.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to see who comes out, and I'm excited to see who you call. That's correct, 'cause I know you're definitely gonna make some correct predictions.
Yeah, I'm excited, bro. For real, man. Folks are making it easy. I tell them all the time. Like I'm like, hey, y'all make it easy for me to be like, yeah, I can see it. Like I can see the vision. Like I'm like, just keep doing your thing, man.
Hell yeah. But Arden, I appreciate you hopping on. Any final thoughts? I definitely want you to drop your socials so they can follow you, Foresight, your personal, all that.
Yeah, man. Again, appreciate you, bro. Happy to be on the Music Report. This was a lot of fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, again, check out, you know, the Foresight Company on Instagram. You know, we're on YouTube. We've been building up the YouTube. Shout out to YouTube Shorts for holding it down and being clutch. Holla at me on LinkedIn, bro. I've really been trying to build up my LinkedIn. So I want to get to that magical 500 plus connections club. And yeah, the last thing I would really just say is consistency is key. Just take pride in being consistent, put out really good work, and also know what it means to consistently elevate. You know, because I think at times people be just thinking, well, consistency is just always dropping. And it's like, it's bigger than just always dropping. Like, you also have to be consistently improving. And that was something that, again, speaking of Oakland Winthrop, shout out to him again. Like, he had told me about me a couple years ago. He was like, one of the biggest reasons why it's easy to support you and why people support you is because besides the obvious, like, good person, work hard, blah, 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 he was like, you're consistently improving. Mm-hmm. Like, we're seeing you do these bigger interviews. We're seeing you be at these bigger events. We see you just constantly elevating. And he was like, that make it easier for people to, like, want to support or continue supporting that already supported you. So I would just tell artists that, and really anybody that, like, consistently put out work, because I understand your consistency could be one of your biggest, if not your biggest strength, and then consistently improve. You should always be wanting to level up one way or the other.
That's true. Arden, I appreciate you hopping on.
No problem, bro.
I appreciate all the knowledge that you dropped, and I know my perspective changed on some things when you were spitting game. So, yeah, all these links will be in the description below on your listening platform, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify. Be sure to follow Arden. Be sure to check out Foresight. Also drop links to Ballplayers. You got to check it out, man. Don't sleep on Ballplayers.
Don't sleep on Ballplayers, bro. We've been cooking up, man. For real. Shout out to 137. We've been building. Ballplayers has been building. Again, if you're looking for that pure, funny, yet informative coverage of everything basketball and football, Ballplayers has it for you, man.
That's facts.
Straight up and down, man. I'm telling you, we're really building, man. We're that next social brand in line that will reward sports fans for their love of the game. That's our tagline, where your love of the game is rewarded. That's Ballplayers, man.
Fire. Appreciate you hopping on. And, yeah, hope to, have you on again very soon.
Absolutely. Let me know. I'm down. I'm
Oh, yeah.
definitely down. It's nice for me to be on this side for once.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Be sure to drop a like and comment on this video and podcast. Peace out.